Hello, Butts Flowers and NC TV45 would like to welcome you to the Canes Victory Parade in downtown Newcastle. NC TV45 would like to thank Butts, Florists and Gifts for their fine cooperation for this podcast. Remember, when you need that special gift, it's Butts. Keep watching NC TV45. Your favorite neighborhood pizza place. Everyone goes to Pizza Joe's. This program made possible by a grant from Pizza Joe's. Gary's Wardrobe, furnished by Main Street Clothiers and Custom Tailors, 210 East Washington Street, Newcastle. From the NC TV45 studios in downtown Newcastle, it's Focus NC with your host, Gary West.
Thank you very much. Good to have you watching today. This is a special edition of Focus NC. It's the Memorial Day week edition. And a whole lot going on for Memorial Day services the beginning of the week. So make sure you attend as many as you can. We'd like to thank our sponsors today as well. Pizza Joe's with 4 locations in Newcastle. Also Butts Flowers in downtown Newcastle. And also Main Street Clothiers and Custom Tailors in downtown Newcastle. My guest today is Lawrence County Controller David Gettings. David, welcome to the program.
Nice to see you.
Hey, good to see you. It's been a while. And there's a connection with David and his family because they lost a loved one back in 2006. Elbert P. Gettings, David's son, was born in Newcastle March 8th of 1978. And he was only 27 years old when he was killed in battle in Fallujah, Iraq. That was January 5th of 2006. He was a corporal in the United States Marine Corps. And I'm sure most of you remember this, and if those of you that are watching right now don't know anything about it, very important for you to listen to what we have to say. So glad that Dave took the time to be with us today to share his experiences about the loss of his son. He was a 1996 graduate of Newcastle High School. He attended Slippery Rock University and Campbell University. He was also a member of Mary Mother of Hope Parish in Newcastle. Dave, first of all, how are you getting along now, you and your wife and your family? It's been 8 years now.
It's been about almost 8.5 years. Gary, the only thing I can tell you is that you never get over this. You learn to live with it. And, we tell people every day, I do a reasonable amount of public speaking and trying to honor Albert's memory as well as through his foundation, the Albert P. Gettings Memorial Foundation. And we've given scholarships. In fact, at 6:30 this evening, we're going to give 12 scholarships at the Lawrence County Career and Technical Center to one for each of the 12 shops. We've given over 75 scholarships since he's passed away. We've done a lot of community items. His foundation is to help the military, to perpetuate his memory, to give scholarships to youth, and to help with civic causes. And all those things we try to do, and we try to perpetuate the memory of a young man that we miss very much.
Now, he was the first Lawrence County resident killed in action in Iraq. Is that true?
Yeah, I guess if you go back to 2006, he was the first Lawrence County resident killed in 30 years, and at that point was the only one killed in Iraq. There was another Marine that was killed in Beirut when they had the Beirut bombing, named McDonough. Other than that, Albert was the only individual that had been killed in battle.
How long did it take the military to give you the devastating news?
Well,
take us back.
Basically, we're talking, this would be Thursday, January the 5th, and I was home from work, had not felt good all day. My wife was the same way. We didn't realize why. And that I was on the computer in one of our back rooms, and my wife My wife yelled for me to come out, her voice crackling. 4 Marines came up our front stairs and told us our son had been killed. Those are the moments I'll never forget. Because at that point in time, our world changed. Our world as we knew it ceased to exist, and I was hoping in some way that I would awaken from this horrible nightmare. It hasn't happened.
Go ahead.
It hasn't happened yet, Gary. So,
Now, it did happen January 5th of 2006. Now,
this was on the same day he was.
so did they let you know the same day, you're saying?
Albert had been killed in the morning, or in the early afternoon in Iraq, and we found out at 6:30 p.m., which was probably about 14 hours or better after it happened.
Did they explain everything to you and how it happened?
No, the only thing we were told was, we were told that your son had been killed by small arms fire in Iraq. And then we were told that we would get more information from the services unit that was going to be handling funeral arrangements, and consequently those came, within the next few days, and Albert's body arrived approximately a week after he had been killed.
Now, he was married to Stephanie, and Stephanie, what was her maiden name?
Stephanie Palomino.
Palomino, okay. And just a quick quote from her. She was quoted as saying, "I cherish every minute that I got to spend with him, Albert." And how is Stephanie doing?
Stephanie's a wonderful young lady. She is remarried, has 3 children. She's a wonderful young lady, and it's a tragedy for all of us. It's been a situation that unfortunately we learned to live with.
Now, Albert was an avid sportsman. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Albert was an athlete. He played mostly baseball, but he did play football in his early career as far as Newcastle. But he loved baseball, played a lot of baseball. In fact, he played baseball till he was about 25 years old, all the way up through high school, North County, American Legion ball, all of those things. And he was pretty good, but Albert was one who really tried and did whatever he could to make the best out of everything.
He enlisted April 2002, and his first assignment was supply and accounting, and he didn't like that, did he?
Well, see, Albert went to the Marine Corps as a supply and accounting Marine, and he spent the first 2 years and a few months in the supply depot as a non-deployable individual in Camp Geiger, and he would come home and he would confide in me and tell me, "Dad, if I count one more thing, I'm going to go crazy. I can't count things. Marines aren't supposed to count this kind of stuff. It's not what Marines do." And so he basically he asked me what he should do, and I told him that he should try to figure out a way out. And he had gone to his commanding officer and negotiated a way that if he would come out and try out for recon, that would be the only way that they would let him out. And his captain told him, "If you do not make recon, we're going to put you in that corner and you're going to sit for 2 more years and then go home." Well, 30 people tried out. It was either 8 or 9 of them made it up. It was one of them. And he came up through recon and back down into an infantry unit, which is really what he wanted.
So he went to Afghanistan first, right?
Albert came out. It's interesting because we've been told by a number of Marines that you normally never make the leap between what they call grunts and pogues. Now, grunts are all Marines, but pogues are personnel other than grunts. They're the administrative Marines. So they normally said you will never get a pogue, an administrative Marine, to be able to fit in or make it in the rank of grunts. But Albert was one, when you told him he couldn't do something, he was going to prove you wrong, and that was the way it worked. He earned the respect of his Marines very quickly. He learned what they call the Green Monster. It's a book about this thick about infantry. He learned that while he was in Afghanistan, came back from a 5 or 6 month tour in Afghanistan, and then left in September of 2005 for Iraq.
We have so much more to talk about. My guest is David Gettings, and he lost his son in battle in Iraq in 2006. So as I said, stay with us because we have segment 2 and 3 coming up as well. It's a special edition of Focus NC, the Memorial Day edition here on NC TV 45.
Gary's Wardrobe, furnished by Main Street Clothiers and Custom Tailors, 210 East Washington Street, Newcastle. Your favorite neighborhood pizza place. Everyone goes to Pizza Joe's. This program made possible by a grant from Pizza Joe's. Hello, Butts Flowers and NC TV 45 would like to welcome you to the Canes Victory Parade in downtown Newcastle. NC TV 45 would like to thank Butts, Florists and Gifts for their fine cooperation for this podcast. Remember, when you need that special gift, it's Butts. Keep watching NC TV 45.